My name is Steve Baldwin. I'd always played soccer. Soccer and baseball were my things. I was building a personality, honest, to myself about had to do with, soccer. I loved it. I was playing all the time. Physically powerful thing. Like this, I'd grown. I was starting to grow out of the fear of physical contact that comes with it, and then bam.
To think that he lost his dreams, not only he's never gonna walk again or have a normal life, so to speak, but he dreamed of being a soccer player when he was 15. And so for him to be in a silly car accident, a truck breaks down in front of them, the car hits them, the two kids sitting in the front have a broken nose and a few stitches, and the two kids sitting in the back will never walk again because the seat belts were defected.
I was pretty mad about it when I was still in high school. I mean, there was a lot of risk taking. There was a few instances of vandalism. It's a lot of anger, so much anger. That's when I first started drinking. The athletic part of me was stripped away. There was no way for me to re-enter into that. That didn't come until I was in my mid-20s and I discovered wheelchair tennis. We were out at some art festival and someone put a flyer in my hand about the local wheelchair tennis program. It's hard to push. The court feels enormous. It feels like there's no way you can cover it. The third time I went, they let me use one of the program chairs. That's when everything changed for me. It was the first time since the injury that I felt like an athlete again. In the middle of 2002, I quit. I vanished from tennis. I went to grad school.
It was horrible, in one word. It's worse than any disease that a loved one could experience in a way because it's unpredictable.
It was pretty clear to me by the time I was a senior in high school that when I got my hands on alcohol, I was doing something a little different than what the other people around me were doing.
He did not come with a manual when I met him, and also he was not forthcoming about his struggles when I met him, so I didn't know that he had those addictions when we met and even when we got married at first.
Francesca and I were talking about having kids. At one point she was like, there's no way I can have a family with you, if you keep doing what you're doing. For me, that was the moment in which I had to really take a look at how helpless I was. Of all the things I knew how to do, not be a drunk wasn't among them. I reached out. I found an alcohol and drug rehab, a residential one in San Diego. It was in rehab that I was officially diagnosed with PTSD. They trundled us down to Torrey Pines Beach. You can't push a wheelchair in sand. And so already, I'm furious that I have to be subjected to this. I'm furious that things have come to this point. I'm furious that given my needs, there seems to be no way to help me. I'm so mad. And I'm like, fine, I'm climbing the hill. If you sit with them long enough, the emotions will change. I'm watching the waves break. And it occurs to me I could take my anger and I could put it on the wave. And that the wave would take the anger. And it enables me to breathe, and I feel relief, and I can take the sadness and I can put that on the next wave.
Forever, I had been the one always encouraging to do things. I was the one, together with another friend of ours, Todd, who told him to go back to tennis, just to do something.
United States of America!
Watching them all with their uniform, with the American flag, walking in, that was such a beautiful memory that I have. I was so proud of Steve, you know, for giving his all at his age. He was much older than most of the players at that point, and he still won the first round, and it was great. It was great to see him happy. It was great to see him have purpose in his life for the first time ever. And, you know, and work towards reaching a goal.
Like all of a sudden, you would hear from over here this giant roar go up from a crowd, and 5 minutes later hear another one from a completely different venue over there. Every time you'd hear that, every time I would hear that, I would think, somebody just did something remarkable and was acknowledged as such, you know? And it felt like, to me, it felt like I also had done something remarkable. Like that was for me too, because I knew what I had gone through. I knew what my journey looked like.
To me, it was beautiful to see that, you know, he finally had purpose. What do you do without purpose in life, you know?